Matt Bernier for NBC Sports Edge. We are inching closer and closer to the first Saturday in May, and that means the Kentucky Derby. And if we're talking Derby, we're talking betting. The most straightforward wager to make in a horse race is a win bet. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you bet on a horse and they go on and win the race, you cash your ticket. If you're looking to place a win wager on a horse in this year's Derby, look no further than Epicenter, who is going to be one of the more likely winners of this year's Kentucky Derby. Trained by Steve Asmussen, most recently a winner of the Louisiana Derby, and he did so in very impressive fashion. He's really done nothing wrong throughout his career, and the beauty of a horse like Epicenter is his versatility. He can go right to the lead, or he can sit off of a target and be just as effective. He's won at a mile and 3/16. He's got to stretch out an extra 1/16 of a mile to get the mile and a quarter the first Saturday in May at Churchill Downs, but everything suggests he should be able to get it done. Who knows? Maybe Epicenter will be the horse to get Steve Asmussen his first win in the Run for the Roses. One of the more appealing wagers that you can make in a race like the Kentucky Derby, because there are 20 horses running, is a place bet. And the place bet's pretty simple. You bet a horse to place and they finish first or second, you cash your ticket. Why is it appealing in a 20-horse field? Because there are so many options, your place price is typically elevated compared to what it would be on any given day at a racetrack where there's only 8 or 9 horses running. In a 20-horse field, place bets typically pay very well, and if you're looking for a horse to consider as far as a placing option is concerned, maybe Taba, the winner of the Santa Anita Derby. He was very, very impressive in only his second lifetime start for trainer Tim Yakteen. We'll find out if the Kentucky Derby is a little bit too much to ask in a rather short amount of time, but the sky's the limit from a potential standpoint, and Taba represents a prime option for a place bet the first Saturday in May. It may be a little bit more conservative, but a wager that you may want to consider in a race like the Kentucky Derby is a show bet. And a show bet is very simple. If your horse runs first, second, or third, you cash your ticket. Now, again, it's a little more conservative than a win bet or even a place bet, but in the grand scheme of things, because there are 20 horses running, your horse finishing in the top 3, you're still going to get a pretty healthy return on a show wager in a race like the Derby. If you're looking for an option for a horse to bet on, perhaps to run in the top 3 in this year's Derby, how about Chad Brown's Zandon, who won the Bluegrass at Keeneland in his most recent start? Zandon is a horse that will do his running from off the pace, but the thing about Zandon you don't need to worry about is his ability to handle a mile and a quarter at Churchill Downs the first Saturday in May. Look for Zandon to be running on late, and if you place a show bet on him, good chance you're going to cash. We've already gone over win, place, and show wagers. They're on the more simplistic side. A little more complex is an exacta. In order to cash an exacta wager, you need to pick the runners who finish first and second in the exact order. Now, that's not the easiest thing to do. If you're someone who wants to use a few different horses, though, and say, if any of them finish first or second, I want to be able to cash, you can always box your exacta. I think a horse like Epicenter is very likely to run in the top 2. I think we could see Zandon run in the top 2. Mo Donegal could also run inside the top 2. And don't forget about Taba coming in from the West Coast. Maybe even Messier, another horse that's based out at Santa Anita. An exacta, you're going to get a much healthier payout than you would on a win, place, or show wager, but a lot of that has to do with the complicated nature of it. It's not an easy wager to hit, but it's a lucrative one if you do. We inch closer and closer to the first Saturday in May, and one of the main bets that people focus on for the Derby is the trifecta. Now, in order to cash a trifecta wager, you need to correctly identify the first, second, and third place finishers in the race in that order. If you do that, you're going to get paid very, very well. 20 horses in the race, it's not an easy wager to hit, but if you're looking at it from a strategic standpoint, we often see favorites run inside the top 3 in some fashion. But year in and year out, there's always at least one big price that makes a run to possibly get up for second or third. Perhaps this year, a horse like Barber Road could be that horse. Should be every bit of 30-1, is a horse that runs from the back of the pack, passing tired horses at the end of the race. May not be good enough to win, but if you're playing a trifecta, maybe he's the kind of horse you want to use in third at a big price to spice up your exotic wagers.